How many different ways can the letters of referred be arranged? Well, first, when some items are identical to others, the permutations rule states that the number of different permutations, where order counts, when n items are available and all n are selected without replacement, but some of the items are identical to others, where we have n subscript 1 are alike, n subscript 2 are alike, and subscript k are alike. Okay, that's given by the following expression. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take a look at the word referred. So let's go ahead and write out the word referred, and then let's proceed. So we're looking at the word referred. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is identify what represents the value of n. Well, n represents how many letters that are in the particular word. So we know that n is given by the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that n is equal to 8. Okay, now let's take a look at how many letters that are repeated the most. Well, if you take a look here, we can see that there's 1E, 2E, and 3 E's. So therefore we have N1, which is equal to 3. Okay, then we take a look at the letter R. There's 1, there's 2, and there's also 3. So then we're going to let N2 equal the letter R, and that's repeated 3 times. And then there's a letter F that's only repeated once. So we're going to say N3 is equal to 1 because that represents F. And then the last letter is D, so we'll call that N4, and that's equal to 1. So now we're going to go ahead and now plug it into our formula. Okay, so recall that n is going to be in our numerator, so we know that we're going to have the following. We're going to have n factorial divided by n1 factorial times n2 factorial times n3 factorial times n4 factorial. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So we know we have 8 factorial divided by 3 factorial times 3 factorial times 1 factorial times 1 factorial. Now let's go ahead and now simplify. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand the numerator of 8 to the value of 3. So we're going to go 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 and then times 3 factorial. And the reason why we're going to do that is we're going to leave the first 3 factorial alone. And then we're going to expand the second 3 factorial to be 3 times 2 times 1. We know that 1 factorial is 1, and then we know the other 1 factorial is 1. Now let's go ahead and simplify. Well, we can see that we can simplify 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial, so that's going to leave us with 1. And we know that 3 times 2 is going to give us 6, and therefore 6 goes into 6 one time. So now, since we have all 1's in the denominator, then that means we're going to multiply 8 times 7 times 1 times 5 times 4, and let's go ahead and then multiply that out. So we have 8 times 7 times 1 times 5 times 4, and then there's an additional one that we have to multiply as well, times 1, which is going to give us 1120. So that's going to give us the answer 1120. So we would say that the number of ways the letters of the referred can be arranged is 1,120 ways, and therefore that is our answer.